So you want to write a book, but you're not quite sure if it's for you. In this video, I want to give you some quick reasons to consider why it might be a really good option for you to write a book. I've written two, one of which was a bestseller in its category on Amazon. It's been an exciting and awesome experience to have two books out that are selling every single month and every single year. It's really good to know that people are benefiting from words that I put into a book. And so I want that same thing for you if writing a book is something that you want to do. And so in this video, I want to talk about why. I am Lane Sebring. This is lanesebring.com. If you go to lanesebring.com/5steps, I want to put something in your hand. This is my 5-step guide to writing a #1 best-selling book. You can get that at lanesebring.com/5steps. It'd be a great companion to this video and the other videos that I'm doing on self-publishing here at Lane Sebring. Let's dive right into what we have for today. So you're thinking about writing a book, but you're not quite sure if you want to. The thing that I want you to understand is that writing a book kind of takes just about everything that you've got to give. It just takes about every bit of your energy and effort and your fortitude and your wherewithal. It takes all of it. And so if you want to write a book, you really have to have a solid why. You have to know why you're doing it, and it has to be rock solid in your mind. Because if not, you're probably not going to stick to the process. I've done it twice. I plan on doing a third one very soon. And I'm telling you, it takes a lot of work. I don't want to scare you away though, because the rewards, I believe, far outweigh how much work it is. But you have to know going into it why. So let's dive into those reasons. Number one is to grow your reach. A book can help you grow your reach like almost nothing else can. In fact, here's the thing that I love about a book. Your book will find people, and people will find your book. Your book almost acts as somewhat of an extension of you. It's just amazing how it works. Because of how Amazon recommends products to different people that have searched for different things, your book, the longer it's in the system, the more it's going to show up to the right people, and you are going to reach people that you never otherwise would, right? So a book is one of those things that when you reach someone with the book, there's the potential to help them with the content of the book. There's also the potential for them to purchase it and support your business or your income or whatever your goals are. So it's really a win-win, but a book is just another way to reach more people. And I think that's a pretty compelling reason to write a book. Let's go to the second one. A book will help you build your authority. Did you know that the word author and authority come from the same root, right? So when you talk about being an author of a book, or if someone's an author of a book, they are the de facto authority on that subject. Now, you might say, well, what if the book stinks? And that's the beauty of the market. People are going to decide and leave reviews and let you know. But if you do it right, having a book where you have taken the time, where so few people actually do this, and organized your thoughts and put everything down in writing and developed a book, that's impressive. And it's impressive whether you self-publish or not. And that's if you do a few things right, which I'm going to teach you in these videos. But just know that in addition to growing your reach, it also builds your authority. So when people see that you have a book on whatever topic, they're going to say, wow, she must know a lot about this topic because she's written a book on it, right? Especially if people are reading the book and they're liking the book and commenting on it, ratings, reviews, and the like, and telling their friends about it. A book is going to provide you with opportunities, and particularly a book is going to provide you with opportunities that you otherwise wouldn't have had. You're going to get to speak at different events just by virtue of the fact that you have a book. You're going to get invited to be on podcasts and share your opinion, because if you write a book well, and particularly I'm talking largely about nonfiction because that's where my expertise is. If you write a book that solves a specific problem, that builds your authority and grows your reach, it's just going to happen. You're going to get more opportunities. A book is like a 200-page business card that's way more impressive than an actual business card. So writing a book is just an incredible way to provide you with opportunities, whether it's speaking engagements or interviews or being on podcasts or being guest contributors to different blogs. And all of that helps to grow and expand your reach even more. Number 4, a book is going to clarify your thoughts. Now, this is something that I absolutely love about writing in general, and particularly writing a book. I'll tell you a little story. So I wrote my first book was about preaching. Now, prior to writing this book on how to preach, I had a blog about how to preach. And I'd been blogging for about 3 years on this website that I'd created. Well, a blog post is pretty easy, right? You can write a blog post, and then you can write another blog post and another blog post, and those can be disjointed or they can be connected, but it doesn't have to all flow. Well, as soon as you write a book, you have to take your material, you have to take what you want to write about, and by the way, it's totally fine if you have a blog to take the content from your blog, if you own that content, and repurpose it and put it into a book. This is something that a lot of authors do. The key, though, is when you put it into a book, you want to make sure that you're providing even more value, and you want to make sure that you go into more depth. So I took the blog post that I had, and I looked at how do I organize these into something that is cohesive. I added a bunch of content to it, made it way better, and then put it into a book. What did that do for me? Well, what that did is it clarified my thoughts. I had to get very specific about what I thought about that topic of how to preach well and more effectively and more accurately and better and all and more compellingly. I had to get very specific if I wanted all of that material to end up being in a book that people would actually enjoy and people would actually buy. And so if you want to clarify your thoughts on a subject, the best thing you can do is write about it. And the best way to write about it is to put it into a book. Number 5, and this is one that I'm super excited about because I love the potential here. A book provides you the opportunity to generate passive income. Everybody wants passive income, right? Everybody wants to make money while you sleep. People talk about this all the time online. I remember the first time I ever even heard someone talk about passive income. It was Pat Flynn, and he's at Smart Passive Income, and I thought, wait a second, income can be passive? Are you kidding me? That's the best thing I've ever heard in my life, because for me, income has always been very active. I have to do something in order to earn the money. Well, what I found in writing a book is that you write the book once, and here's, by the way, this is how I define passive income. Passive income doesn't mean that you're going to lay on the beach with your laptop and drink Mai Tais all day, and the money's just going to flood in, $10,000, $12,000, $20,000 a month, just going to flood in for doing nothing. That's not really real life, okay? It takes a lot of work up front to ever get to that point, but that's not even the goal for most people. Most people want to continue to contribute. So here's how I define passive income. Passive income can be defined like this. When there is a fixed amount of work and disproportionately high results. Okay, what's the fixed amount of work? The fixed amount of work is actually writing the book, okay? That's fixed. For me, my first book took me about a year to write because, as we're going to get into in these videos, it takes a lot of time to write it. You don't just write the book. You write the book, you outline it first, you make the chapters, you write it. It takes a long time to write it, then you rewrite it. That's called a second draft. Then you have someone proofread it and have someone edit it. Then you read it again. I mean, and then you have to format it. There's a lot that goes into it. So writing takes a long time, but here's the thing. That amount of time is fixed. In other words, I'm not still writing the book. I wrote the book, I published it in 2016, and it's out there in the world, that first book. I did the same thing with my second book, but it didn't take as long to write. But a fixed amount of work and disproportionate results. Guess what? That first book and the second one, but let's look at the first one. The first book I wrote it 3, almost 4 years ago, and it still makes hundreds of dollars every single month in perpetuity. And it's never varied all that much. Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down, but it's always been steady. I can always rely on a few $100s a month, and sometimes way more, from a book that I wrote 4 years ago. It took me a year to write. And by the way, it wasn't like all I did was sit around and write this book. I mean, I'd write it for here and there, and I'd work a full-time job. I'm a pastor. So I would write it, I would work, I would write a little bit more. I mean, it took a year, but I probably could do it in way less time if I was focused. Definitely my third book that I'm writing right now is going to be a lot more focused time and effort than it was the first time. But my point is, it generates you passive income because the amount of work that you do is fixed. Then you put it up on the Amazon store and it sells in perpetuity. And so you're going to be earning royalties from your book for a long, long time. and it's not going to be dependent on continued effort from you. And that's a really liberating thing, because think about this. If you were to write one book and another book and another and another, and you stack it all up, eventually, if you do this right, you could get to the point where it's a full-time income coming in from your books in perpetuity forever. Well, now you got plenty of options in life. Right now you can stop taking a salary if you do work that you love, or you can quit your job and go do the work that you love and do it for free, or whatever, right? It's totally up to you. Or you can give a ton of money away because now you've got more money than you need. Or if you just want to make enough money to not have to worry about paying your car payment or your mortgage payment every month, then you can do that too. The point is, writing a book can help you generate passive income. And I think that's one of the more exciting parts of writing a book. And that brings us to the sixth reason to write a book, the sixth why. And I think more than any other reason, including, by the way, generating passive income, more than any other reason, this is the one that is the purest and best. And if you don't have this, you should just not bother with it. There's other ways to make money. There's other ways to grow your reach. There's other ways to provide you with opportunity. But if this is part of your goal, if this is something you want to do, then writing a book might just be for you. And that is to serve your readers, okay? You're going to serve your readers. How are you serving them? Well, the way I teach to write a book is to write a book that provides an end-to-end solution that solves one specific problem, okay? Let me explain what I mean. They can pick up your book and they can tackle a specific problem, and your book's going to demonstrate what the problem is. It's going to help them think through why the problem has affected them, how it's affected them, and then your book is going to show them the solution to that problem, and it's going to provide them the tools they need to apply that solution and keep going. So for example, for me, my book, my first book, Preaching Killer Sermons, is how to create and deliver messages that captivate and inspire. So what's the problem? Well, the problem that I'm trying to solve is unengaging, uncaptivating messages that are uncompelling and that lose the attention of their audience. Have you ever been to a church or ever been in a service or you ever heard a speech where the person just bored you to death and you sat there thinking, gosh, there's got to be a better way to do this? I want to help preachers think through, how do you preach in such a way that you don't lose the attention of your listeners and you've got them from start to finish? So the problem is uncompelling, unengaging preaching, and then the solutions are mapped out in my book and the reader is equipped to apply the solution. That's how I see it. It's an end-to-end solution. And so if you write a book, you need to go at it from the perspective of wanting to serve your readers, wanting to give them tools, help them solve a problem, help them work through a frustration. That's the best way to go about it. So if you put all that together, a book is going to grow your reach. It's going to provide you with opportunities. You're going to be able to make passive income. It's going to help you serve your readers. It's going to clarify your thoughts on the topic. It's going to do all kinds of amazing things. And so in a future video, we're going to actually talk about how to decide which book to write, because you might be like me where you have lots of ideas of books that you want to write, and you're convinced you want to write a book, but you're just not sure which one should I write. And so in future videos, we're going to talk about how to do the kind of work that it takes to decide on this book or that book, or maybe a book that you're not even thinking about right now. But for now, I just want you to think about this. Is a book something that's in your future? Should you write a book? One of the ways that will help you fully understand this more is to go download my free guide, lanesebring.com/5steps. It's the 5-step guide to writing a best-selling book. It's just going to give you some steps and help you think through what we're talking about here in this video and whether a book is for you, and then how to write it. So you can go grab that. Be sure to subscribe to this channel if you want to watch more videos like this. We talk about self-publishing, personal development, and online business. I can't wait to see you in the next video.